Hello everyone, hello YouTube, hello Samba world. This is o gato de salto, Felipe. So you decided to parade in Rio. But who are you going to parade with? And what are you going to parade as? And what are you going to wear? And how much do you have to spend? Oh my gosh, let's talk about parading during Carnival in Rio. Okay, so you've decided to go to Rio next year for Carnival, and you already talked to your boss and you got vacation and you already checked the flights and they are affordable and someone will help you with accommodation. So now what? Well, you have to decide whether or not you are going to parade or you want to parade. And you know, they're basically coordinators for that all around the world. You know, people in Australia, in Europe, in every country, in the US. So basically you just need to find who those people are in your area and get in touch with them. If you don't know anyone in your area, get in touch with me in the comments or write me on my Instagram profile, Gato de Salto, and I probably know someone and I'll be able to tell you who will be able to help you further. But it's important for you to understand what are your possibilities, you know, as a foreigner, as someone who lives abroad, and who wants to go to Rio and dive into this amazing culture and the world of Carnival and with all the costumes and the glitter and the glamour. You think? But yeah, how? So let's have a look into what you can actually be when you go to Carnival in Rio. Well, Rio is, especially Carnival, is a very money-driven sector. So you can basically be anything as long as you pay. But let's concentrate on the most common opportunities and spots that are available for people like me, like you, probably, who lives abroad, lives in a different country and want to participate in the Carnival, in the Rio Carnival celebrations. So the cheapest spot and the most common that is also available for Brazilians, and many Brazilians do, is the spot in an ala. You can check out my other video about Samba schools just for you to have an idea what an ala is. I will leave a link in the description box of this video. Parading in an ala, just a regular ala, it could be fun because, you know, you have no stress. You're given a specific place within the body of the parade of the school, and within that place you can move. I mean, you have to be aligned in rows, but you can move. They're more flexible. Everyone is wearing the same costume. The costumes are big. It won't leave you a lot of room to dance and to express a lot, but it's all about having fun, singing along, you know, parading with your friends. That's what is it about. And depending on the theme of the school for that year, your costume of the ala will reflect an aspect of that. So let's suppose the theme of the Samba school is classic music. Your costume could be a violin or Mozart or a piano. You know, sometimes the costumes are a little crazy, but it's fun. You know, this is the cheapest and the fun aspect of parading in Rio within a Samba school. It's important to understand that parading in an ala also has some responsibilities, just like parading in general. You're expected to know the song, you're expected to sing along, because that criteria counts for the judges. The judges, they award points based on the fact whether everyone is singing, you know, or at least faking, but it's important, and the ala is no different, you know. And being in an ala also means that you have to watch what is going on around you. and help out if you need. You know, sometimes, I don't know, something falls down from another costume of the person in front of you. Make sure you help that person pick that up, just because that counts points as well for the school. But it's very relaxed. It's an ala, you know, that's the point. It's relaxed, everyone is having a good time in costumes. Now, the second most common available option for foreigners and for Brazilians is being on a float. A float is one of the big, let's say, trucks that are very ornate and decorated, and you can actually be on them. Now, costumes for a float are a bit more elaborated, are also a bit more showy. So they usually prefer people who are in shape, or, you know, who are comfortable with their bodies in a way, because they do show a little bit more skin compared to the alas. The alas, you're basically covered from from head to toe. But on the float, you usually show a little bit more skin. Sometimes they are bikini shaped for girls, or they have a nude, naked chest for men. You are on the float, so you're higher. You usually have a spotlight on you coming from within, from below, so that gives you more visibility. That's the spot for you to be seen. If you have someone in the public, he or she will be able to take great shots of you. Parading on a float is actually a lot of fun. It's a bit scary at first because it moves, so you have to hold on, or you have to really distribute well your weight. You are limited a little bit dance-wise, but it's still possible to dance, and you should not do it if you are scared of heights, because sometimes you're not very high up, but sometimes you're very, very high up, and they actually need to use a crane to get you up there and get you down again. But it's a lot of fun, it's a different experience. Sometimes the camera comes straight at you and you see everyone, and it's a lot of, and you can see the entire school. Like if you look to your left, depending where you're staying, you see the school in front of you, you see the school behind you. It's a great place to be. And parading on the float, usually you can have a regular costume, or you can be a semi-destaque, like a semi-highlight. Those positions are even higher up with more elaborate costumes, more beautiful costumes, because they get more attention. And there's always, in a car, there's always a destaque on a float. A destaque, those positions, they cost a lot of money because their costumes are huge with the most absurd number of feathers, and I don't even know how to become a destaque. I think you need to have a lot of money for that. That's not a position that is available to regular mortal people. So if you look at the parade, I will try to get images onto this video as well, so you have a better idea. If you look at the parade and you see a float, the destaque will be all the way up or in front of the car, and we'll have, we call it splendor, of feathers around him or her, and a big back piece, and be in the middle. It's a highlight. It's something that you cannot miss. So yeah, but for you and me, regular mortal people, we can be on a float as a semi-destaque or just as a regular component of the car. Some of the floats are choreographed, which is also a lot of fun. Now, most of the international samba dancers that I meet, they are always eager to parade in a passista ala. Now, the passista ala, it's difficult to get in, people, because you need to audition and you need to be there. You need to do the shows for the school. You don't get paid. When the school goes somewhere else, you need to represent the school. So being the passista ala is difficult, especially if you don't have any context at all. So being the passista ala is prestigious somehow because it's difficult to get in, and it's all about dancing samba no pé. So there is no choreography. If there is a choreography, it's something really short, just during the chorus, or a specific, formation. Very, very short, usually nothing difficult. The passistas, they are there just to show the samba no pé, nothing more. Okay? They're also expected to sing like every other member and component of the school. And the passista ala, it's also called an ala. So passistas also have exactly the same costume. Everyone within the passista ala is wearing exactly the same. So the only difference is the male passistas and the female passistas, but all of the male passistas are wearing exactly the same. All of the female passistas are wearing exactly the same. This is important because I came across schools outside of Brazil, samba schools, and who are using this terminology wrong. If there's a group of dancers doing the same thing, dancing samba no pé, or even a choreography, and everyone is dressed the same, that's probably the passista ala. And if there's another group of dancers who do not have a choreography, they're just dancing samba no pé, but they have different costumes, that is not a passista ala. That has to be named otherwise. Just for you to understand, passistas, it's a one thing. No one is supposed to be better or worse. No one is competing against the passista next to it. There is no stepping onto the spotlight when you are a passista. When you are a passista, it's all about community, about being together. But I will talk about that in a different video. Now, a tendency that is growing since the last years is the international passista ala. So what is an international passista ala? So a ala, you should already know, is a segment within the samba school. Good. International passista, it implies that the passista, so it implies that it's all about samba no pé, and international because it's people coming from abroad. So probably, if you are a samba dancer and you live in a different country and you have contact to one of those coordinators I was talking about in the beginning of the video, and you want to go to Rio to parade as a samba dancer dancing samba no pé, you are probably going to end up in one of the passistas alas. International passista alas. The international passista ala is nothing more than an ala, a commercial ala. So we've got a coordinator within the school. He or she decides to start the international passista ala project, and so he talks to the carnavalesco, to the designer of the school, and to the direction of the school. They come up with a concept for the costume, and these costumes are sold for samba no pé dancers from abroad, or even from Brazil. The first time I paraded in Rio was also through an international passista ala. So it's very much fun because you do have a feeling, you get a feeling for what the passistas do. How difficult, how demanding, how much you have to push through, especially at the rehearsals. Sometimes you get rehearsals in the Sambadrome or in the street, and you have to do exactly just like the passistas. You're expected to do samba no pé the entire time. You're expected to sing. So it gives you a very real taste of how the passistas within a samba school perform and what they're expected to do, and the feeling of dancing to the song of the year and dancing to the bateria, to the drummers. So it's a very real, very authentic experience, and I highly recommend both the float, the international passista alas. They are very different experiences within themselves, but they're both amazing. And being in international passista ala is fun because then you're probably not traveling alone, you're traveling with friends, and then you can both be there, and it is really a lot of fun. There's a lot of elements that are comparable to the regular passista ala of a samba school, because within the regular passista ala of a samba school you also got your friends, so there's also this community feeling about it. It's great. It's something that has started not so long ago. In the meanwhile, there are a few schools offering that opportunity to dancers from abroad. They do see the potential. It's paid, and it's okay to pay as well, especially, if, like us, we live abroad, we live in a country with a stable economy, and I think it's very justified. It's okay to pay for this experience. Another further position that you possibly want to consider is Musa. I will have to make a video about what it means to be a Musa. The Musa, usually a Musa comes in front of a float or in front of an ala, and she has the glamorous costumes that most samba dancers want to have, you know, the bikini with lots of rhinestones and crystals, the amazing feathers. That's all part of a Musa costume, you know, so it's expensive to be a Musa because you have to pay for that, you know, that costume doesn't materialize out of nowhere. It's a very high quality costume, so you need to have the funds to be a Musa. And finally, if you are a musician, for example, and you want to parade as a member of the bateria, that is also possible. For the bateria, just like for the passista ala, they expect you to arrive a lot earlier. Because, you know, you have to rehearse, you have to be perfect, you have to be on point, especially bateria, because bateria do get points from the judges. So you can't just expect to arrive there 2-3 weeks before Carnival and join a passista ala or join the bateria. You can do that if you are an international passista ala, because there, you know, the school is flexible. In your case, all you need to do is to be there for the parade and do a good job, perform well. You don't have to be there months in advance, you know, and rehearse and rehearse and rehearse and perform and rehearse. That's what the real passistas do. So I hope I could give you a little bit of insight of what your options are as an international samba dancer, someone who wants to go to Rio and experience the amazing Carnival season. And if you do have any questions, please don't hesitate in contacting me via Instagram, or you can leave comments. And also, if you like the video, make sure you leave your thumbs up and subscribe to my channel so you know when the next video is out on the way to you. And that's it. I'll see you next time with another very informative video. Bye!